25 years. That's how long the man convicted of shooting and killing 3-year-old McKenzie Elliott will spend in prison.
He was sentenced today in the U.S. District Court. WMAR 2 News' Skylar Henry has reaction for us from inside the courtroom.
Yeah, it was an emotional day inside the courtroom. We heard from both McKenzie Elliott's family and 30-year-old Terrell Plummer's family as well. As you mentioned, Plummer will be spending the next 25 years in prison. But perhaps the most surprising part of the morning came with Plummer's remarks. He faced McKenzie Elliott's family and said, despite all of the evidence and despite being found guilty, he never pulled the trigger that killed McKenzie.
A little more than 9 months after federal prosecutors proved who shot and killed 3-year-old McKenzie Elliott, we now know his fate. 30-year-old Terrell Plummer, linked to the Old York money gang that wreaked havoc over Baltimore's Waverly neighborhood, was sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison for 1 count of racketeering conspiracy. Part of his plea deal was admitting to a string of drug dealing and violence charges, including firing the shot that killed McKenzie.
She should be getting ready to go to school, and she and her family have been robbed of that experience and been robbed of every other milestone in the rest of her life.
U.S. Attorney Robert Hur was in the courtroom, the same courtroom that both Plummer and little McKenzie's family sat in, filled with tears. The feds say the toddler was hit by a stray bullet on her front porch in August 2014, in between a turf war involving 2 rival gangs. While she may not have been the intended target, McKenzie's mother, Nina, says someone needs to be held accountable for her daughter's death.
Even if it was an accident or not, you have to pay the price. I just hope that we all just take this into consideration and pay attention and open our eyes up and give everybody else a hope and a chance to live their life like how we all should.
A chance to live. A chance feds say Plummer didn't give to McKenzie. And while under oath he admitted to pulling the trigger during sentencing, though expressing sorrow for McKenzie's family, he told them he didn't have anything to do with her death and took the plea deal to get home to his family sooner.
He pled guilty to a range of violence and drug trafficking activity in federal court, and that's what he was held accountable for today by Judge Russell.
Ultimately, though, the conversation turned to ending gun violence here in Baltimore. We heard from McKenzie's mother, Nina, who says that 3-year-olds nor anybody else should be the target of gun violence here in the city, and it's time to put the guns down. Here in Baltimore, I'm Skylar Henry, WMAR 2 News.